Very warm welcome back to Gordon Bennett TV here at the headquarters in Turun. Turun. How's my pronunciation, Eric? Is it getting better? Turun.
Torun.
Torun.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one for an English. It really is. How are you doing, my friend?
Yes, good.
Deputy event organizer.
Or managing director of this event, or deputy also.
Yeah, deputy of the race, managing director of the event.
Yes.
Now you might think because everything's taken off and flying and gone that your job's over, but it's not. You've got all the end of the show to look after.
Yes, it's second part of the job. It started, especially for deputy. We now watching 24 hours what the balloons doing, what pilots doing, where. For example, 1 hour ago we have incident with CTR of Berlin and Poland one needed to land it, and now it is the same situation with Germany one. So yeah, it's a lot of job to do.
Yeah, it's never easy, is it? The opening ceremony was beautiful, lots of great stuff. Any tips or any secrets about the closing ceremony?
Maybe it could be a secret for tomorrow around noon. The pilots will receive a message what we are planning for Friday welcome back party, but it's in a little private event. But the closing ceremony will be on Saturday around 7 p.m.
All right, good. We'll look forward to that. So as Eric was just saying, we've got all the stuff is happening. Some teams are flying, some teams have already landed. We've had some teams that have landed and have come back here to return their logging devices. We'll tell you all about them with producer Mark very shortly indeed. But first of all, we're going to check in with our first team who came back into the studio, and it was Austria 2. Welcome back, Gordon Bennett TV. Austria 2 are back, return the logger, back here in the studio. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you, good to be here.
How was it? How was the flight?
Very nice, actually. A beautiful first night and then a bit of rough second day with thermals, but all good.
Yeah, it was very technical, wasn't it? The second day, everybody was bouncing around. Tell me, I mean, I'm obviously from skydiving, you're a skydiver as well. For gas ballooning, tell me about the thermal activity. What makes it different?
Yeah, basically because you're stationary in the air, so every little wind gust or thermal you feel directly, so it moves you up or down. The good thing that we had is we didn't have any horizontal movement in it, so the gusts were, or there were no gusts, it was just up and down, like an elevator ride the whole day.
Wow. So is it really, as a skydiver under a canopy, when we can feel it bouncing around, is it like that, or is it more of a smooth movement?
Much smoother. So
Right.
it's basically like on the round parachute, if you ever done a round parachute jump.
Yeah, that's how I started. Yeah. This shot, great shot here on the, is it the selfie stick?
Yes, that's with the 360 camera. That's in the morning, yesterday early morning, sunrise.
And let's just pass over a little bit. Tell me about your gas ballooning history. When did it all start for you?
Actually, my first Gordon Bennett, but not as a pilot, as a chase crew, was 86 out of Seefeld in Austria. At this time, I was chasing his father and his mother, and the flight no, sorry, that's wrong what I said. This time it was a Gordon Bennett which took place in Seefeld and went down to the south over the Alps. And that's what was the first time that I was with gas balloons. And I remember that one of the at this time famous gas balloonists was Stefan Makne from Poland, and he was quite good, very close to the best. Yeah.
Is this your first race together? Is it your first time together as a race?
No, it's the second time. We have been flying together 2019.
Right. Well, so we're going to be back together with you for next year, do you think?
We are thinking about it.
I hope so. If Nick will join me again, I would appreciate if he will fly with me again.
What's one of the from this race just now? Which memory sticks in your mind as being the big memory from it?
Yeah, it was like a beautiful flight, but like it was a bit of a mind game, especially yesterday evening with making the weather decisions. Actually, everything went in in accordance to the plan that we had to go to the west, but we always knew that on Sunday evening we would need to make a decision whether we're gonna continue or not. And from our position where we were, we made the decision to go and land due to incoming thunderstorms.
Yep, safety first.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking your time to come and join us here in the studio, and have a safe journey back.
Thank you, Regan.
So Austria 2 on the ground, plenty of teams still flying, and currently in the lead, Poland 2 with over 700 kilometers. You must be very proud, Arik, to have a Polish team currently in the lead.
Yes, of course, but please remember, the race is not finished, but I am proud for now, and hopefully it looks like we will meet again in Poland in 2 years.
How is the feeling amongst the media? Are people aware of the race locally and nationally in Poland?
Yes, yes. When we are going to restaurant to eat a lunch or something, they see that we are organizers and they ask. We are watching. We are see what it is amazing to see what is happening. And yeah.
Do you get free food?
No, not exactly.
'Cause I've been going for dinner
but-
without my badge. I should wear my badge.
Good suggestion to ask.
Yes, we'll do that. Also in the studio, we have the great guys with us from Germany too. Let's have a look at them. Matthias and Ben, Germany 2, are back with us in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, guys.
So, how was the journey back?
Shorter than expected, unfortunately. But yeah, it was pleasant, of course, to pack the balloon and have a short meal on the way back, and 1 hour later, being under a warm shower and in a soft bed.
And
Yeah.
a normal toilet.
on your own.
It needs to be said.
That's
Gerhard looks good on screen there. He's got his picture.
He was really enjoying it. He was really enjoying the flight, and the two of us, Ben and I, were too, because actually Gerhard was flying most of the time. Basically, he was doing nothing because the balloon was flying so stable. So everything was looking good.
The takeoff, the launch, spectacular. You could see the passion in your energy as you were going up. Tell me about it. Talk me through the launch.
Yeah, it was really when we were looking back on our first Gordon Bennett launch in Bern 3 years ago. Both of us, we couldn't even remember the national anthem, and I was so busy with putting the night lights out and all that stuff to properly start our flight. And so this time we said, let's give us 1 minute at least to hear the music and to enjoy the takeoff. And this we did.
And enjoy the crowd as well, because I think it's really special because you normally don't have that much people on a gas balloon or on a balloon launch site.
Right.
So we actually, this year we said we take a few minutes and enjoy it, and then we start getting radio contact and turn on the transponder and everything. Because we were going quite slow at the beginning, we could see all the balloons that took off before us. So I think that worked out quite well for us, and we had a beautiful takeoff.
And your direction and your flight, was it as you thought it would be?
Yes. At first, yes. It was all working out as planned, actually, for the first, let's say, 20 hours.
So the point was, our strategy was to, what a lot of other teams did as well, that we park. So we stay around Torun, head as much north as possible, which actually worked quite well. I think yesterday in the midday we were the team that was most in the northwest, but in the evening, basically, you saw everybody saw it on Regan. It's the reason why we're here now, that there are small thunderstorms or rain cells getting around the low pressure area, and then we decided for ourselves, we had a super nice flight. Yes, we're gonna end up last probably, which is all right. Somebody has to do it, and but we had a safe flight, a beautiful flight, and for us it was just the safe edition. And let's say the older guys that have more experience can fly around the low pressure area. We have a few more years to practice on that, and maybe we will do it one day as well. But for this year, for us, it was not the right way to do so.
We're all very proud of you. We're very proud of what you've done. It's a massive adventure. It doesn't matter where you finish. Looking at the tracks now, it's exciting. We've got Swiss 3 heading up through Lithuania, but then Poland 2 with that push down towards the Atlantic coast.
Yeah, I'd really. That's what I'm gonna do in the following days. I'm really crawl through Facebook and look at the pictures from out the basket, because I really want to know. That was our biggest concern, what it's gonna be like flying so close to that low pressure area. And Poland, was it Poland 2?
Poland 2 are on the way. Yeah.
Poland 2 in the lead at the moment. They flew right through it. So it would be interesting. It would what was going on there in the basket, weather-wise, and yeah, maybe some disco lights.
But how much of a gamble is that, though? You know there's that bad weather there for Poland too to carry on through the night. There's a decision to be made, isn't there? Land or just see what, go for it.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Oh, me neither.
No, we have no experience yet with night landings, so we're probably gonna do one in the future, but not in bad weather to start with.
So what's happening now for the rest of the day for you two?
We get in a car and drive back home to Stuttgart.
Coming back here for the closing ceremony?
We'll have a look at that in the end of the week if we actually come back or not, because it's a 10, 11, 12-hour drive for us. So we will check in the end of the week if we actually come back for the ceremony or not.
Yeah, well, we hope you do, because there's no party without you two guys, and Gerhard as well. Hey guys, welcome back. Safe and sound. Adventure in the bag. We'll see you next year.
Thank you.
See you next
Bye-bye.
year, hopefully.
Always good to catch up with Ben and Mateos. It is the 64th Coupe Aeronautic Gordon Bennett. It's Gordon Bennett TV. It's an exciting one now, Mark.
Yeah, it's always getting excited after like the first night or 2 nights. It's really tense.
Everybody that's watching on social media, on Facebook Live, you can drop all your comments in. We'll be having a look at them a little bit later. Any questions you've got, let us know, and producer Mark will be digging them out as well. Do you want to have a look at something from... I'll tell you what we'll do first of all. I just want to talk about Poland 1. I mean, they're the reason we're actually here in Poland with this race now. They won in 2018 in Bern with a great distance of 1,145 kilometers. I mean, big respect for them guys. That's why we're here. They've just landed, so the race is over for them, but great job, guys. I think they got about 360 kilometers away from here.
Yeah, let's open the leaderboard here, and we actually have them at 358 kilometers, yes.
Do we have them on the screen?
Yeah.
Look at that now. There we go.
So here we have them. They actually landed just south of Berlin.
And talking about landings, Swiss 3, we were watching them earlier, and we got our researcher Christian was zooming in to where they landed. It looked like it was in the middle of a forest from what we could see.
Yeah, we discussed earlier in the show that they were making their pass through the gate into Lithuania.
Yeah.
We were talking it might be possible, but it's kind of difficult to even get all the way up to Vilnius. They basically didn't have any wind that brought them further north, and we see here that the wind was actually even turning more towards the south. There's certainly, you don't want to, and you're not allowed to fly into Belarus, so they actually had to land here in this forest-like area, and we actually got 2 pictures from them.
Can we zoom right the way in and have a look at exactly where they are? It looks like they're on the edge of a river. How close can we get with this image?
Yeah, this is how close we can actually get with it from Google Earth. So it looks like a small forest area, but yeah, we have a few pictures. So
yeah, let's have a look at the pictures from Swiss 3 landing site. We've got them for you right now.
Have any, not even tiny holes. They actually, before a race, what they usually do is they inflate them in an area. They are dark on the inside. They walk inside the envelope and they look for what they call the star sky. And all those small holes, they're gonna close up because they don't want to lose any hydrogen. Yeah. So I hope that they managed well within this forest area to recover. They seem happy here. So yeah, it's great to see them well landed at the border to Belarus.
Look, absolutely amazing. We caught up with one of the other Swiss teams, Swiss 2, and we had a chat with their headquarters. We can bring you that now. John Marco, Swiss 2 headquarters. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We just had a few technical issues. We've got them all squared away now. So tell me what's been happening with you today.
Well, our team is still waiting. They are getting a little impatient, but yeah, that's what they need to do currently. And here in the headquarters, we keep recalculating and yeah, hoping everything goes according to plan.
It's very interesting how we have the headquarters and the team. And we touched a little bit on this last year, how sometimes you get a difference of opinion between what the pilots want to do and what the headquarters want to do.
Yes, that's true. You know, you have to understand the pilots. For us, everything's just numbers and some blue clouds on a screen. But for them, you know, rain is actually wet and cold. So we have to make sure we take also so their opinions into our decisions. But ultimately, the situation, especially this year, is so complex that I think there's no way that the pilots can really have a grasp of the whole situation. So we really have to make sure that we communicate only the most crucial points. Still, you know, make sure that they have enough information and also give them the possibility to take decisions. But yeah, ultimately, the complexity is just too high for the two pilots.
Yeah, indeed. And it is Kurt and Pascal that we're dealing with right now, isn't it? And tell me where they are right now and what your plan is for the next few hours.
Yeah, they're still in the northern part of Poland right now. And as you have seen, the first teams like Poland one, I think, and Swiss one, they have already taken the winds towards Germany, which turn further south within Germany. We're still waiting for that a little for a couple of reasons. So yeah, there's still a need to hold a couple more hours there until they can also join them.
So I'm just wondering about your communication with the teams. Do you have regular times of contact? Are you always in contact with them?
It always depends a little on how their internet connection is. We have like a chat that is going through internet, and we try to communicate as much as possible over that. But especially in the last 24 hours, communication was difficult. They did not have good internet access, so most of it was going through satellite. So text messages, we were not calling, but really text messages, and so they are limited to 160 characters, and yeah, makes communication not easier to communicate possibilities, options, limitations, as I was talking about before, in just a couple of characters.
Yeah. And with yourself, Gianmarco, there in your team, how many people are with you there in the office?
We are 5 people. We have one professional meteorologist. 3 of us are doing routing strategy and planning for airspaces and so on. And then we have one taking care of our accommodation and food and so on.
Okay, well, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work where everybody's watching and everybody's exciting for the next 24 hours of this Gordon Bennett. But for now, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, great chat there with the headquarters of Swiss 2 Mile. Let's have a look at the tracking where we are. It looks like Poland is so far ahead with Poland 2, but we can't dismiss the other teams yet.
Yeah, so first of all, we just right now, the call we had was actually up here with Switzerland 2. So you basically rule them out. They're far back here. Hearing to the headquarters, they seem to have a plan. Yeah. Let's see what their plan will be. They started to slowly get some traction. The only thing I could imagine is that they may be able to go more straight here, while the others are actually turning south right now. Yeah. We see this also from this wind stuff. This is still this low pressure area where they're behind on the back of it. And part of the difficulty Poland 2 has is how can they really leave this circle and actually carry on without being pulled back. Looking at their trajectories, sorry, that would be this one here. Looking at their trajectories, there actually is a path going out of it, being able to get somewhere south of Nantes. Let's see if they find that wind, and if that wind is really there, what the model tells.
Really interesting, and we can get an idea of distances. Mark, you've put together some distance circles to give us an idea of rough approximations of distance. So the inner circle there.
So yeah, this is a drawing of 3 circles. The inner one is 1,000 kilometers from the takeoff point. The middle one is 1,350 and the outer one is 1,700. So basically looking at the generic tracks and if they really make it along to what we see on the trajectories, like basically the best distance would be the 1,700 kilometer range. And you see here, if they end up down here somewhere, they will, around here, they will not be able to get the same distance as flying up here.
Yeah.
The only other option would actually be in this area here, where they can get further than this distance. So yeah, either aim for this or for this if you have to choose from, but in the end they can only choose from the winds that is available to them.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the records we've had and some of the longest distances and travels in the Gordon Bennett. We know we're going tonight into our third night in the basket. The longest, if my memory serves me correctly, is 4 nights in the basket. Is that right?
Yes, the longest duration, if I recall correctly, is something like 93 or 93 hours in the air.
That was Willie Eimers.
That was Willie Eimers, yeah. Like on this race here, looking at the balloons and also hearing from what some of the balloons that have landed told us, it was actually very good flying yesterday.
Yeah.
They didn't use that much of ballast as what you could imagine. So maybe, yes, they are up for a very long flight. Looking at Poland too, and looking actually at the radar images for that. So they were really kind of flying more or less within this bad weather situation, while many of the other balloons are flying north of it. So we'll have to see from them how much ballast it costs them to be in this rainy weather with a wet envelope and how well they manage it. It's certainly a much harsher environment to fly than if you fly outside the rain.
Well, Poland 2 there, Swiss 1, the Freiburg Challenger coming up behind, and we've got France 1 there. I think we've got some footage from France 1. We had a bit of a chat with them in the basket. Let's see what they had to say. It's Herve and Herve in the sky. France 1, how you feeling? How you doing?
We are going well. We just try to avoid burning airspace because it's a bit difficult for the balloons. But now we are still drafting to maybe to France. We'll see. We are close the tent in the basket because we was expect a rain, but now it look okay. And as you can see, we are pretty well, not tired, so we are on the way for good things.
It's so good to be in connection with you here, for everybody back home in France to be able to see you and your father in competition after 2 nights. It's quite incredible. We talked a couple of months ago, Herve, about just what an emotional impact this was for you to be in flight, in competition in the Gordon Bennett with your father. Tell me a little bit about that, how it feels.
Well, we feel very good. Actually, some things like we are sharing with Dad. It's 7 Bennett for me, and that one is probably one of the best one of the most the most better. Just before you, we get a call also with Vincent Lace.
Yes.
Because it's my instructor, so this year is not running, but it's so happy for us that we make this long flight, and we just follow him. It's like instructor for us. So
yes, it's fantastic, and I think you deserve, absolutely, we don't rarely do this, but you absolutely deserve a few seconds in your own native language of French to all the people in France watching you now. Take it away, Herve.
Hello everybody. Salut tout le monde. Salut tout le monde. Et puis on espère arriver bientôt en France et que vous soyez là à l'atterrissage pour fêter tout ça. Qu'on gagne ou qu'on gagne pas, en tout cas, nous on aura fait un super vol grâce à tout le monde et on vous attend à l'atterrissage.
Well, guys, I wish you a safe next few hours. I wish you a very safe evening and a good night, and safe travels and blue skies, and we'll see you back here at the end of the week.
Thank you, Regan. So see you later. Bye bye.
À
Bye
tout
bye
à
to
l'heure.
everyone.
À
Ciao. À tout à l'heure.
Good. So good to see the guys in the basket there. France won. What's the distance, Mark? Where are they currently?
So they're currently at the 8th position with 344 kilometers.
And that leads me smoothly into our next segment. Mark, how do we know where they are?
So yeah, we since the last 4 years we use a system from a company called YB Tracking. All these balloons have a tracker like that in their basket. These trackers are waterproof. They are actually mostly made for sailing competitions. So in sailing, so that's why they are very well waterproof. And those trackers are like GPS receivers, so they receive the position by GPS, but they also transmit the position via satellite. So we need to do that via satellite because if they fly very high or if they fly over water, they do not have cell reception. And we, especially in those situations, also want to know where they are, especially if they fly over water, to be able to interact or to see where
It's an old competition, the Gordon Bennett. I mean, before the technology, how did we know who had won?
Yeah, so in earlier times, they actually called in in the very early time, they just flew, they landed somewhere, and they had to figure out where they are. Later on, they actually called in once in a while and reported their position, and there were big maps in the competition center with like last reports and where they are, as far as I know, sometimes also via the ATC because they are in contact with ATC and so on. But we have other people in this organization here who have even more experience on how they did it. I only joined that moment with the newer technology when we had all of that.
You can imagine some of the early competitions. I mean, the first one in Paris, I should have checked the dates,
1906.
1906, right? So no Facebook, no YouTube, no GPS trackers, no telephones, I don't think, back in those days.
No, not at all. But actually, the founder, like James Gordon Bennett, founded it because he had a newspaper and it's a story to tell. So it is already about news.
Right.
It was already about all the adventure behind it and all the story that this race is telling. And I think this is very much the same at this time, even with this very modern technology.
Yeah,
we can just be much closer in the basket. We get those video. We even today, I think it was our first like real like one-to-one interview that we managed because even though they're flying now with good cell reception, the cell reception very often still is not good enough to do like a live commentary. But we're very happy to get all these videos and be able to show that to our visitors.
We had some videos from Herve and Herve. They were preparing the food in the basket. We've not seen that before. Let's check in with those videos of the team France 1 getting ready for dinner.
Hello from the French team 1. So it's time for the lunch. Welcome on board and enjoy your meal with us. Ok, tu me donnes une petite tranche de jambon là. Oh, request for ham and for cheese. Ah, celui-là. Voilà, pour le ski. On mange, we eat the meal we take in Poland and we're still alive. That's very good and
now the best.
cheese. Ah, this is come from France. And as you can see, with the altitude, the packet of ships growing up. Sometimes, if you fly very high, you hear the pop. The packet explodes at 3,000 or 4,000 meters. So that's very surprise. Hello everyone, French team again, number 1. So we're still in Poland, but we will cross in 1 minute the border to Germany. So as you can see, it's very clear. We have a big forest in Poland. We have the river. C'est quoi le nom de la rivière d'ailleurs? Alors, je vous dis ça tout de suite. Bah non, je vous dis pas ça parce que je sais pas. Mais en tout cas, voilà, la rivière qui sert de frontière et de l'autre côté, l'Allemagne. Salut! So we just expect rain. The ATC control in Berlin tell us that we have some rain in our direction and our way. So as we can see, it's some rain spot, and so for that we close the tent. We put plastic all around the basket, just to stay dry inside and to keep it safe, all electronic and also the pilot.
Really, really interesting, isn't it, to see what's going on, what life is like up there in the balloon.
Yeah, totally. And I really think it's very amazing. It's just to see this harsh environment, also like this, having them to close the basket for rain.
Yeah.
Like in other races, they had like even snow on top of them. And yeah, they really need to be prepared, I would say, from all the way from +40 to -20 degrees C or something like that.
Wow. Lots of people watching online. We've got some messages coming through on social media. What have we got, Mark? Who's saying what?
We just have a few hellos like Basley and Aver Thor, actually from Arizona, saying hello. Rupert on YouTube is asking, do they carry oxygen for if they need to catch the best wind? It actually depends on their strategy. I would say most of them do have at least some amount of oxygen. If they, in their flight planning, already prepare for a long flight above, like usually the limit is about 4,000 meters, then they will carry more oxygen. So yes, they need to be ready to carry oxygen. And the longest I heard was like something around 40 to 50 hours on oxygen in a flight. So that's a very long time.
Anybody else to say hello to on the
Yeah,
Facebook
we
Live?
have quite some cheering. Like there is Lavanier, Michael Hoare, and Johanna cheering all for Poland 3. Mel Andre cheering for France, and we have some more cheering for Switzerland too with consent. There is one question: what happens if once they reach the Alps or reaching that place?
Yes.
As we've seen before on the wind directions, it's not like they will. I don't expect them to really fly to the Alps. I really expect them to try to turn west and fly more towards the Atlantic Sea.
Interesting stuff. We'll be back with our late evening show tonight with the final wrap up of the day. We're going to catch up with some more of the headquarters and maybe some more pilots and bring you that as well. But you can join us back here in the studio with the final update of the day as we go into the third night in the basket here live at 20:30. We'll see you then.